I'd like to introduce you now to our host for today, Ms. SAIEE Gura, who has been part of the energy industry in South Africa for over 25 years. She started her career as a consultant and later was appointed as a city electrical engineer for East London. With more than 2 decades of experience as an electrical engineer, SAIEE achieved numerous qualifications, including a Bachelor in Engineering for Electrical and Electronics, a Master's in Business Administration, and Government Certificate of Competency. SAIEE served as the Association of Municipal Utilities, AMEU, President from 2008 to 2010 and served on the Executive Council until 2011. SAIEE was also elected as the SAIEE President in 2020. Over to you, SAIEE.
Thank you very much, Minx, for that introduction, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests. Thank you so much for joining us on this webinar today, and we hope that it's going to be informative and quite interactive. So we will be giving you the opportunity to actually ask questions at the end of every presentation. But throughout the presentations, you're welcome to pop up questions in terms of the chat facility under the control panel at the bottom. And while the panelists are busy with other presentations, they will be answering your questions as well, but we'll do a few questions in person. So to the panelists, thank you so much for taking out the time to prepare your presentations, and we look forward to the interactions with you. So without wasting much of time, I want to take this opportunity to introduce you to the first panelist, a lady of many talents and whose passion is power transformers. So Wilma Muller is the sales manager at Power Transformers. She has 23 years of experience in the transformer industry, specializing in transformer design. With the privilege of having received a bursary from City Power, she could see the whole distribution network protection and control elements. She then ventured into a business position with a technical basis, specializing in insulation materials for transformers. Currently, she is the sales manager with ACTOM'S Power Transformers. She uses her experience to interpret the customer's requirements from a tender, produce the tender, and when successful, run the project from the receipt of the order until the tender requirements are complete. So over to you, Wilma.
Sorry, Wilma, you muted.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege for me to introduce you to ACTOM'S Power Transformers. I just wanted to introduce, just show you ACTOM Power. ACTOM consists of a whole lot of divisions and business units. You will hear today from high voltage, from power transformers, distribution transformers, and ACTOM Smart Technologies. But there is many other divisions within our group that may be applicable to your business. So the history of ACTOM Power Transformers, it was a business that was established in 1963 as a subsidiary of Bonalong Dundee. It was part of the NEI group and then acquired by ACTOM in 2001. Being part of the ACTOM group gave us exposure to rapid growth, to both extend the factory as well as increase our capacity for power transformers. We manufacture transformers 2.5 MVA to 315 MVA and up to 275 kV. So the factory is actually, next year we are 60 years old or young. We produce class 1 transformers, auto and double wound transformers. These are transformers at 2.5 MVA to 160 MVA up to a voltage of 132 kV. We also do select class 2 transformers, which is basically up to 315 MVA to 75 kV, which is utilized in both the distribution and transmission networks. We also manufacture generation and unit step-up transformers. And with the renewables, we ventured into producing the transformers for the pad mount kiosks for both wind, solar, BESS, and diesel. Our design capability, we are truly the only South African power transformer factory, because all our R&D, our development, our team is localized in terms of the designing of the transformers. We do keep our hand in the international developments with the support from international renowned transformer engineering, Felder Engineering Design of Weitz, Trafo Experts, and Palner. We also, with this, we can design for utility transformers, inverter, as well as collector transformers for renewables. Our facilities in Wadeville have all the facilities, all the equipment that we require to actually manufacture the transformers. So we have winding machines, we've got coil pressing machines, vacuum ovens, assembly bays, vapor phase ovens, tanking, and then lifting capability to move transformers around and loading them on the trucks. We have 2 standalone test bays where we're testing these transformers once they manufactured to IEC 60076. We are in the process of getting these 2 test bays to a laboratory system accreditation, ISO 17005, which is scheduled for Q3 of 2023. We can impulse test up to 1050 kV lightning impulse with the capability of loading the impulse generator to 2.4 million volts. We do PD testing, temporized tests, oil tests, noise level tests, all the tests that is required, and then we put all of this together for you in a data pack. The transformer cannot be delivered to site in its complete state. We are very particular about this point because the transformer is not really made to be moved around. It basically just moves once in its life, and that is from the factory to the site. And in this, we do give you the service of delivering the transformer to site. When the transformer arrives on site, it has to be put together, and sometimes customers find that this is something that they can save money on. We find that this is a very critical area in the transformer's life, because if it's not put together properly, or the conditions under which it is put together is not ideal for the transformer suffers at the beginning of its life in service. We offer teams on site, and with all of the requisite equipment, actually assemble the units on site. Once it's now been assembled on site, we need to prove to you that the transformer is ready for service and that it is in the condition that it left the factory when you did the FAT tests. So in terms of that, we have ACTOM test teams that actually can go to site with all the requisite equipment to prove that the transformer is in its correct in-service condition. We produce a transformer data book with all of the site acceptance tests, the factory acceptance tests, and all of the installation manuals, drawings, which is associated with each of the transformers. Taking it a step further, we can also go into maintenance contracts for customers in terms of where we can do the on-site inspection during the life of the transformers, and for this we reward the customers with possible extended warranties. And then to take the condition monitoring further, we've developed a product where we can actually monitor the transformer on a 24/7 basis online. We look at the power that is put through to the transformers. We can add dissolved gas analyzers on the units. We add the climatic conditions in that area, and with this we've got real-time online dashboards that we look at the transformer, look at the loading trends, and then alert customers to possible trends that there could be something wrong with the transformer. And if an incident happened on the transformer, we actually go and collect those wave shapes for later analysis so that we can see if there is anything that can be done on the transformer. This helps in the earlier that a problem on a transformer is detected, the earlier limited to possible insulation, because that is the most likely place of error on a transformer. We have some references that we've made transformers for Lesotho Electricity Corporations, either directly or via contractors. We've made transformers for your Tasani, Tico, and there's a LEC substation that we supply transformers for. The latest one is for the Habelo project, 210 MVAs that are currently awaiting the site completion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Wilma, for that presentation. I once again ask that everyone pops questions in terms of the chat group, but else I'm going to give you 5 minutes. You can raise your hand as well if you want to ask a question so that we can do it live. But if you remember something later on, please pop it into the chat as well. Okay, at the moment, I'm not seeing any questions. So I think we can carry on to the next presenter. Okay, so our next presenter is Sibusiso Duma. He's the Engineering Management Manager for High Voltage Equipment. He has 22 years of experience in the electrical industry. He's qualified with a BTech degree in power engineering and a master's in business administration. He's a professional engineer registered with EXA, an SAIEE member, a SEGRE member, and the chairperson for SEGRE's Southern Africa A3 Study Committee for Transmission and Distribution Equipment. His passion lies in developing and mentoring young technical people, and he has done so for the past 18 years. So over to you, Sibusiso.
Morning, everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are. We're just waiting for you to share your screen with show us your presentation to see your desktop.
Okay.
Go to display settings. Stop. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. High voltage equipment offers a range of products for substation equipment, obviously, up to 800 kV. And here in NITES locally in South Africa, we manufacture up to 132 kV. And then we've got partners who are international players who can supply us with equipment for equipment above 132 kV all the way up to 800. So we have disconnectors from 22 kV up to 145 and current ratings of up to 315 amps and then 40 kA. And the designs are mainly double side brake, single side brake, and center brakes. And then we also have some special designs like bus prop, start delta switches, live to edge switches, and cable end designs. And most of these can be offered in friction entry or free entry, free exit designs. We've got a proven track record of over 35 years with over 50,000 units supplied currently. And then we also manufacture and supply instrument transformers from 11 kV or 6.6 for the VTs up to 132 kV using the hairpin design, which are also internationally certified in terms of IEC or South African Bureau of Standards, which are also available in porcelain and composite insulators. We currently hold a frame contract for supplying the ESCOM units, and we've got 100% local content there. We also supply alternative instrument transformers, which are capacitive BTs or current transformers, which are top core designs, and then line traps as well from our partners overseas. And then we currently is really designed for a top core CT, which is going to be environmentally friendly in the effort of getting rid of SF6 and mineral oil in our products. So this design will have composite insulators and will be ester oil insulated. We also have metering units that we supply mainly to ESCOM and some utilities in Namibia and Botswana, where we've got them in the range of 11 to 33 kV up to 600 amps ground pole mounted. And as you can see there on the photo, the blue one on the right is the new ester oil field unit that we recently manufactured and supplied. We also have vacuum circuit breakers that we sort of do localization here in our factory in Knights, but part of it comes from a partner in the East. It's using vacuum technology, which is environmentally friendly. So there is no SF6 there, and it comprises of full composite bushings and insulators. And then we also have outdoor circuit breakers, hybrids, which is this one here. We call it the HiPact, which has got instrument transformers, an isolated isolated in a circuit breaker, and mainly in one unit. And it's a dead tank design, and then we also have the normal live tank circuit breakers up to 800 kV. From our partner, there is a SF6 free alternative that is available now up to 170 kV. And then we also supply GIS, 145 kV, 300 kV, all the way up to 800. Like I mentioned previously on the previous slide, is SF6 free alternatives that are available up to 170 kV. So not using SF6. And then we also supply load break switches and sectionalizers up to 33 kV. This can do up to 630 amps. And then we also have auto reclosers up to 33 kV. With 1250 amp ratings and 25 kA. The latest is available with a vacuum tank and not SF6. We can also supply surge arresters up to 800 kV, mainly from a European partner or Chinese partner, mainly made out of composite materials. The manufacturers are getting rid of the porcelain design. So most of these now come with composite materials. Station post insulators are also available with 31 millimeter per kV crimpage with cantilever strengths of up to 12.5 kilonewtons. We also can supply composite insulators, which will be hybrid post insulators, composite, and then suspension type and class or disc insulators for all voltages up to 800 kV. And then our service department can offer installation and commissioning of these products. We can also offer service level agreements for HV primary plant maintenance. And we can also do condition monitoring services, stringing and cabling, tubular bus bars and installation thereof, and then also training and certification for customers who would like to install the products themselves. If we look at condition monitoring, diagnostics and digitalization, we have a partnership with two companies that can supply us with control switching devices for circuit breakers, also known as point-on-wave relays. So we've got VisiMax and GE, who are the biggest players in the market, and VisiMax is actually a specialist company in control switching. And then also we've got a CB watch for condition monitoring of circuit breakers. We also have a D watch for disconnectors, condition monitoring as well. And then our partners, as you can see there, some of the few that we have mentioned and you've seen the products of on the slides. And then our customers, I see LEC is also one of our biggest customers there at the bottom. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sibusiso, for that interesting presentation. If there are any questions, please type it in, or you can raise your hand at this stage. What we're also going to do at the end is we're going to try and put all the details of the panelists on the chat so that you're able to contact them if you need any further information or any further engagement. So I don't see any questions on the chat or in terms of the attendees. So I'm going to move on then to the next presenter, which is Herman Murray. He's the General Manager for Protection and Control within ACTOM. Herman has been an engineering specialist with ACTOM for the past 18 years, specializing in SCADA, automation, and protection. He has a BEng in electrical engineering and is a member of EXA. Over to you, Herman.
Thank you very much, Ty. Everybody can see my screen at the moment. So ACTOM enjoys doing business with Lesotho, but as a country and even in my off time, I also enjoy some free time in Lesotho. In my free time, I enjoy going into the Drakensberg and frequently venture over the Lesotho border. So Lesotho's got a special place in my heart. So doing business is a pleasure with Lesotho. From protection and control, where we interact with LEC quite a bit is on protection and control devices, and we've got technology partners on a lot of these devices. We've got agreements with SAIEE, Artec. You would know us from historical terms in terms of the Schneider Electric equipment, MyCom devices. On the metering side, we partner with a lot of European and energy meter manufacturers, and on the automation side with Novatec. ACTOM has a total of 79 employees and a factory area space of 8,500 square meters. Also located in the Knights factory. Now, I think a lot of you have visited our factories before. So close to distribution transformers, our high voltage division, as well as our switchgear division. And I know today you are looking at each one of these divisions individually, but we also like to offer our products together as a transmission and distribution section and giving you a turnkey solution. So ACTOM falls within the smart technologies, and in the protection and control stable, we've got protection relays, which we offer as standalone items, and we've offered these for many years into Lesotho. On the SCADA side, we also offer SCADA solution, energy management systems. On the substation, we offer substation automation systems, complying to IEC 61850. These protection schemes that you can see in the presentation, we do the designs and the manufacturing from scratch in protection and control. On the prepayment and the credit energy meters, we supply these to various customers of ours, and also do the smart metering systems. Maybe something that you don't use that often, but we are quite involved in, is on the LV protection panels that we also offer. We do service and training, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have already attended our mini apps protection course, a accredited course that we offer each year, which is product independent, but making sure you get the expert knowledge on protection devices. We also offer condition monitoring, and you've seen that through Wilma's presentation. So in collaboration with all the other ACTOM divisions, we make sure that those devices are smart and that we can monitor those devices and make sure that we pick up conditions before the equipment fails. And later on in the presentation, you will also see that we do drone inspections, which is quite exciting field to be in the study. So on the protection relays, we partner, like I said previously, with the likes of SEL, Arctec, and Micom devices. These protection relays can be applied in the generation, transmission, and distribution field. Motors, transformers, differentials, the full range of protection IDs. Nowadays, most of these are 61850 compliant, and we also have the in-house capabilities to integrate these relays into a complete system. On the older devices, so when we're looking at electromechanical relays, we also partner with GE, and I believe we have supplied a lot of these relays into the Lesotho grid as well. So on the value add that we offer, we do the support, the technical support, the training, and the repair facilities for all of these devices. On substation automation, which is the buzzword nowadays, like I said, we are fully 61850 compliant with local integration expertise, again, on all of these products. So we've done quite a few substations with SEL, with some Novotec devices, which is also a gateway, and the Schneider stable of automation devices. Again, the value add from our side is technical support, training, and repair facilities. And on the metering side, we focus on postpaid metering and prepaid metering. This slide focuses on postpaid metering, and we go all the way from the lower residential meters all the way to grid meters. So single phase, three-phase, mid-range metering, as well as the high-end precision metering from class 0.5 to class 0.2 for your bigger industrial customers. On the prepayment side, and that's the direction the world is sort of moving towards, we also offer the same range of relays all the way from lower residential to the grid type of meters. On the prepayment meters, we've got the split and the integrated meters. And then also on the heading on the grid side, we do the data concentrators for the smart metering solution, which interfaces to the head-end systems and the automatic meter reading systems that we also offer. We also have an in-house metering manufacturing facility. As you know, with a lot of tenders, there is a requirement for local content, and we can do our own meter manufacturing at the Knights factory. On the design side, so we offer all the devices that I've shown before as loose products, but we also integrate them into panels and do the design, the testing, and the factory acceptance testing all in-house at our Knights factory. We've got trained engineers that can do these designs, again, fully compliant with 61850 with in-house draftsmen, project managers, panel builders, and test engineers. And we do these panels for protection as well as our metering solutions. So on the LV switchgear, I'm just mentioning, although it might not be used that much in the utilities, but where it is applicable is on the municipal kiosks and the distribution boards. So we'll be doing a lot of LV cubicles for the mining sector. We're doing gully boxes, overhead bus bars, and plug-in boxes. We're also getting involved in motor control centers, which we will do for the typical saddles. Yes, so the MCCs and distribution boards strictly to IEC 61439, and then up to Form 4B separation. So from the lowest level of safety up to 4B, we can supply these panels to our customers. On the software services, we offer automatic meter reading systems, smart metering systems, head-end systems, prepayment and vending solution, and we're also doing training on all of these services and the hosted solutions. And like I said, Wilma touched on the condition monitoring. So we're doing condition monitoring on power transformers, our PTKs, distribution transformers, but also on the other divisions. And that's the whole idea of smart technology, is to make the equipment that ACTOM manufactures smart devices so that we can monitor them from everywhere. So we make all our devices intelligent. We can also monitor production and provide maintenance schedules for these assets to make sure these assets are maintained the way they should be maintained. When we're doing this condition monitoring, we provide the applicable dashboards. You can see your alarms and be alerted when one of these parameters goes out of the design parameters. And these reports will then be sent to the end customer, and when you act on these, you can extend the lifetime of your particular electrical equipment. On the power transformers, things that you will typically look at is the voltage, the power, also the temperature is quite important on the transformer, and then specifically the gases, which Wilma also touched on. So there's online gas monitoring, which monitors about 9 gases and these will be an indication whether your transformer is needing some repair services. On the other front of smart technologies, which is quite exciting, is the drone inspections. These drone inspections are done on power stations, on boilers, on the internals, on silos, the internal and the externals. You can see a whole list of equipment that these drones are being used for. The big advantage of doing inspections with a drone is, in the past, you would have had to erect scaffolding to do all of these inspections, which could take up to 2 or 3 weeks. With a drone, that inspection time can be cut down to within 24 hours. So really a time-saving solution for the end customers, as well as then obviously a cost-saving for the end customer. So when the drone inspections are done, you can then pinpoint very specific points where you need to do your maintenance. Instead of putting scaffolding in your whole boiler, you could use the lineman and the rope access to target specific areas where maintenance is required. Maybe just a quick slide, and I'm sure a lot of you already know these guys, but on the protection and products and systems, the person to deal with is Elizabeth Zenartle. On the metering side, you can contact Leon De Nation directly. On the engineered product side, which includes our LV side, is Sipho Son. On the loose components, Jonathan White. And on the schemes business unit, it would be Sandra Cahoon. And a lot of you have already dealt with her in executing some of the projects for Lesotho. If I can just mention a few, Morija is one of the substations that we're currently busy with. Habela, we're busy with the designs at the moment, and on the loose relay side, you've dealt with Elizabeth on the MICOM and mechanical relays. Just some references, protection solutions we've provided to Eskom Transmission. We have also supplied protection schemes for the generator stations, Medupi, Kusile, Grootvry, and Majuba. On the mining side, we supply regularly to Anglo Gold and Impala Platinum. 6150 solution. This is a very small list, but we've done it for Monday Paper, eThekwini Municipality, City Power, City of Tshwane, City of Ekurhuleni, so quite a few substations that we've employed 6150. On the renewable side, we also were involved with Coco Wind Farm, Tsitsikamma Wind Farm, and various other projects for Eskom through the schemes that we supply. I think one of our flagship projects that we were busy with is Medupi Generation, where we've installed 89 boards, 900 IDs, and all of these IDs connected into one centralized HMI system consisting of 8 HMIs. We're also currently busy with the Tuka Power Station, which has got a similar scope as Medupi, and looking forward to complete that project and help South Africa get out of our rolling blackouts. On the metering side, we have employed quite a few systems at Tshwane. We've done some turnkey projects with more than 80,000 meters and 30,000 load management systems. We've also supplied meters to City of Ekurhuleni, Mbombela, and various other utilities. So why choose ACTOM? We're a trusted and financially stable South African company, comprehensive product solutions and services, like you can see, not just from PNC and distribution transformers, but all the other divisions as well. We've got expert knowledge of the industry and a proven track record and large reference products. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Herman, for that excellent presentation. And I think the key word is condition monitoring. You can see the thread through all the presentations so far. I think just to reiterate, one of the things that Herman spoke about was mini apps. If you haven't been on one of those courses, it's highly recommended. It's quite beneficial. And if you'd like to visit any of these factories, please make contact with the presenters and we will gladly arrange a visit as well. So I don't see any questions or any hands raised. So I'm going to move on to the next presentation, which is going to be by Lisa, who is currently our sales manager at the Static Power Group. Lisa has been in the company for about 20 years. She's had experience in the DC field and an interest in batteries. She's been employed at Static Power for 15 years. Her experience ranges from tendering and estimating to end of projects, whether it be delivery only or includes installation and commissioning. The team reporting to her includes sales, service, and exports, and the skills range within these teams is vast and varied, from technical assistance and sizing to fully engineered solutions. The Static Power Group's mission is to be customer focused and remains technologically relevant, offering commercially compliant, financially viable, and technically correct information to their customers. Over to you, Lisa.
Thank you, Sai, for that. So I'm Lisa Matudowski. We fall under the ACTOM'S Smart Technologies Group. And in our division, we have Static Power, Alkaline Batteries, and COM10. Static Power is...
Sorry, Lisa, just click on your, click on your display settings and just swap that so we can see your presentation. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So under the Static Power Group, we design and manufacture AC and DC standby equipment, thyristor battery type battery chargers, microprocessor controlled options included. We're a supplier of industrial batteries, power supplies, rectifiers, DC to DC converters, DC to AC inverters, furnace control panels, capacitor trip units, battery tripping units, and power distribution boards. All systems are designed and engineered to suit their purpose and to ensure reliability and compatibility. Then we have alkaline batteries. It's a manufacturer and supplier of SAF and ALCAD industrial nickel cadmium batteries in South Africa. We manufacture locally up to 60 amp hour batteries. That's in our factory in Benoni. And we are currently looking at increasing our locally manufactured capacity up to 150 amp hour. We are also the only sub-Saharan collection point for spent nickel-cadmium batteries. So if anybody has spent batteries, they can contact us, and then we take care of it in an environmentally responsible way. COM10, which is also part of the Static Power Group, is a local assembler and integrator of the alpha switch mode rectifiers, DC to DC converters, and which these have sophisticated supervisory controllers. We also do clean power UPS systems, which we have successfully rolled out at Matla power stations across all the units. We're also the distributor of Hayes batteries, who manufactures a wide range of valve-regulated lead-acid batteries in both AGM and gel type in all capacities. The static power, as I've said before, we're a manufacturer of AC and DC standby equipment. Our chargers range in voltage from 12 volts DC up to 520 volts DC, and in the current ranges from 3 amps up to 2000 amps. We do DC power supplies, DC to DC converters, portable chargers, furnace control panels, which has been used worldwide, specifically in Australia, in the Russian countries. So those get designed for purpose and then exported. Battery discharge units, industrial UPSs from 10 kVA up to 200 kVA, and then modular UPSs, which are built in-house from 5 kVA up to 30 kVA, DC distribution boards, and AC boards. We partner with, on the industrial UPSs, we partner with Statron. It's an imported UPS, although we are fully accredited to test and fault find on these UPSs. We hold the Eskom national contract to supply these UPSs to all generation power stations. On the alkaline side, we are a supplier and, like I say, manufacturer of batteries. These include the pocket plate vented nickel cadmium. I think those are used throughout Lesotho Electricity. We also do the valve regulated vented NiCad batteries, the sintered plastic bonded plate, and then also have access to the solar nickel cadmium batteries. We have access that now that vented lead acid batteries are no longer manufactured within South Africa, we have access to an imported range of plantate, flat plate, and tubular lead acid batteries, and we are the sole distributor for the Hayes AGM and gel valve regulated lead acid batteries with a capacity range of 7.5 amp hour to 3000 amp hour. We are also the accredited distributor for SAF lithium ion batteries. And we have recently successfully done 2 trial sites with Transnet using the SAF lithium ion on the one side and the SAF NiCad batteries on the other side, which was high lightning areas and had a history of not being user friendly when it came to using the vented lead acid or the sealed lead acid batteries. On the COM10 side, we do Cordex switch mode rectifiers. Again, they're all designed for purpose. These are 12 volts DC to 220 volt DC, and the rectifier modules that we use are 250 watt to 4 kilowatt modules ranging from 10 amps to 3000 amps. The modules are all hot swappable, so that what that means is no other programming is required. If something goes faulty, it gets pulled out and another module gets put in. That also then means that should your stop holding be controlled properly, that you have no downtime. The system is self-configuration after replacement of the module in the example that I've just explained, and we can do remote configuration and monitoring via web interface. DC to DC converters, 24 volt, 48 volt, 24 volt to 48 volt or 48 volt to 24 volt. We do inverters, 48 volt DC to 230 volts AC, 10 amps to 3000 amps, and it can be done in single or dual configuration. We do DC type distribution boards, We do engage with the end user significantly so that we understand what it is that's required, and we are type tested up to 500 amps. We are the supplier to Telkom in South Africa for distribution boards. And we do 48-volt line powering solutions for remote network powering, optical network terminals, IDAS, and Wi-Fi networks equipment. And we do solar regulators, which is supplied to us, and that is the Outback range. We have recently, based on the shortage of power here in South Africa, we've recently embarked on exploring the PV and solar side of things. We can offer lithium-ion energy storage systems that again is in conjunction with SAF, PV panels, and that includes the design for come out to site, understand your requirements and your needs, and do the design, and then offer you a best solution. SAF is made available to us, ready to install containerized energy storage for renewable energy and grid management. The container delivers a rated energy of 1 megawatt-hour, and each stream also incorporates an electronic battery management module that controls the charge and discharge cycles of each module, as well as monitoring their state of charge and their health. We've completed ACTOM Turbo Machine's PV solar project. Was a 200 watt peak roof mount PV system with 220 kilowatts AC LV tied into the local mini cell for self-consumption. And currently we're embarking on doing a 1 megawatt project also within the ACTOM divisions. We design AC/DC panels with various modules in the configuration that the end user would like it to be. And as we develop more modules, we make them available for us to offer to the market. We've been doing this for 2.5 years, and it's been a very sustainable venture for us. We also do some monitoring via the Robustel system, which then can give you access to and monitoring of your DC system. And the parts that can be seen is the power flow. Just an example of. And then the logging events that can be, this is just an example of the logging events that can be seen if we use this Robustel unit in conjunction with any one of our available chargers, whether it be a hybrid type charger, which is a fully thyristor controlled charger, but then with the added benefits of having an LCD screen and the Robustel unit added to it, or a full switch mode charger with the Robustel unit added to it. On services, we do consulting, specification drafting, project planning, application design, lifecycle costing. Our service team can do installation, commissioning, and testing of all of our equipment. Investigation, should there be need to investigate what happened at site. Training, which we offer continuously during the year, and we have offered to Lesotho Electricity on more than one occasion, and they've attended training. We've also been to Lesotho to offer the training on site. Maintenance and service contracts, maintenance and repairs, and then because the environment I think is important to all of us, disposal and recycling of industrial nickel cadmium batteries. Thank you. That's it from me. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Lisa, for that presentation. Well spoken. I still see no questions, so I'm just going to go and explain. So in terms of the control panel, you will see that there is an icon that says attendees. So if you go into that icon and open it, you can actually raise your hand, or if you go to the chat icon, you can actually post some questions. But what we'll do as well towards the end is maybe we can unmute everyone so they can ask any questions. So nothing for you, Lisa, at this stage.
Thank you.
So we can move on to the last presentation then. Okay, our last presenter for today is Lee Mbenge. He's the General Manager for ACTOM Distribution Transformers. He's been a tradesman with close to 30 years of transformer design and development experience. Although he's just given us a very brief introduction here, there's a lot of stuff that Lee does. So I'm going to hand over to you, Lee, to tell us more about your distribution transformers. Thank you.
Thank you, Sai. Thank you to everyone who's joined this webinar. I hope you can see my presentation.
All good.
Thank you. I'm representing distribution transformers, as Sai mentioned. I'll just quickly go through the slides. Sibusiso and Herman have already touched a bit about the location of the sites. We're located in Knights. The first factory as you drive in is the distribution transformer factory. I'll touch a bit later on that. And we'll also manufacture K-class transformers, which use an ester fluid, which is environmentally friendly. I'll also touch later on that. VSD application transformers, we also manufacture, an inverter application for renewable energy, whether wind, solar, or hydro. And the designs for these are vetted by an international specialist, because these sites are so... Sorry, I've got someone who's got a mic open. Okay, I'll carry on. Our site is 15,000 square meters, and the main factory, or the first one as you drive in, consists of two lines. We call it a small line and a large line. Small line manufactures 16 up to 100 kVA, and we can manufacture up to 100 units a day. And large line is above 100 kVA up to 2.5 MVA. And on that side, we manufacture, I think, per annum up to 3,500. And the high bay, which is located at the bottom, on that side, we manufacture 200 kVA up to 8 MVA, the NECRTs, the mini subs, the specials. We do R&D in that area. Okay, and we'll move on. Biggest customers are ESCOM, municipalities, mining, the general industry, contractors, wholesalers, renewable energy. We also export largely to utilities, Eswatini, Botswana, Nampawa, and Lesotho is one of our export customers. Then we also supply the mines in the exported areas and the renewable energy sector. Amorphous core transformers that I touched on a bit earlier, those are meant to reduce the no-load loss. And the material supplier of the core material guarantees a reduction of 75%. But we were able to achieve 83% reduction in no-load loss on the transformers that we manufactured. So these are ideal for pole and ped mount transformers, and if you're looking at total cost of ownership because of the reduction in losses. We also manufacture ester oil transformers. We currently have a fleet of over 7,000 transformers supplied, most of which are to Eskom, because Eskom has now migrated from mineral oil to esters, and they're now 100% taking transformers with just ester oil. And the benefits of using ester oils is that the oil is biodegradable. The raw material of the oil is sourced locally from the farmers, and the factory, the facility that manufactures the oil is also found locally. It's about 7 kilometers from our factory. The oil is considered fire safe because it's got a fire point of 300 degrees and a flash point of over 350 degrees. The oil is highly moisture tolerant. Mineral oil in moisture saturates at about 20 to 30 ppm, but with esters it's over 200 ppm where it gets saturated. The breakdown voltage for mineral and ester is very similar. It's about 70-75 kV, even up to 80. The esters have an advantage that they extend the asset life. They look after the insulation, and so that is what you need. The disadvantage about the ester oil is that it's got a poor oxidation stability. It's a little bit more costly than the mineral oil, and it's got a low viscosity. But we've got ways of handling it, and with the increased temperature, the viscosity issue is resolved. So it's a good oil to consider if the transformers are going into sensitive areas or areas where they can be subjected to abuse in overloading. We also do renewable energy application units. We've supplied transformers to the following sites. The most recent ones are at the bottom of the screen. The 2 wind farms, which are located at Excelsior and Golden Valley. They're performing exceptionally well. And at Greefspan 2, the 5.1 MVAs. These are pictures of the site in Greefspan with the solar panels and the transformers behind the fence. And this is a picture of a Dose Rivier in Northern Cape, where we had to replace dry type cast resin transformers that were cracking, where the resin was cracking because of the extreme change in temperature between day and evening and the loading effect thereof. This is a site. The picture on the left is a Golden Valley site. It's a wind farm. The transformer is housed in a PET transformer kiosk. That's a PTK. It's manufactured in collaboration with our switchgear division. It consists of a ring main unit, the transformer, and an LV panel. But with the new requirements for skid solutions, we would look at something similar to that, although the recent requirements are that the transformer must also be exposed and not enclosed. The picture on the right just shows the transformer standing in our test facility undergoing test, and that was to be supplied to Excelsior Wind Farm. We've got 3 test facilities. The picture shows the 2 test facilities in our top main factory. The panel on the left is fully automated. All the test technician has to do is pull up the required test data and then presses a button, and everything, the testing, the data capturing and collection test report, and then the information to be sent to our ERP for invoicing and allocation. So all that is automated. On the right, the panel is semi-automated. The CTs, VTs, the selection is still manual, but everything else, data capture, is also automated. We do conduct full routine tests on these 2 test systems, and we can also conduct a temperature rise. But these are only up to 2.5 MVA. The bigger units are done in our high bay. We've got an in-house type and special test facility as well. We can do lightning impulse test. We can do 3-phase partial discharge, temperature rise test, SFRA, all in our high bay test facility. And I think that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Lee. Quite an interesting presentation, especially in terms of the ester oil developments. I don't see any questions, but I did see Norman, you had your hand up quickly, and I took note of Morris's hand. I wasn't sure if you're checking it or not. Norman, can you unmute if you have a question?
Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
we can
please.
hear you.
No, it was the reason for my hand is I lost the presenter during the start of the presentation, but the sound came back and then it was okay. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. So at least we know the hand works.
Sorry about that.
Stuart, I see your hand is up. Would you like to ask a question? Just unmute. Okay, there we go.
Okay, there we are. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, just Lee, with relation to the ester oils over there, and when you're starting to deal outside of South Africa, what about testing facilities and the ability to be able to handle the oil away from South Africa? Is there any reason why people should be starting to change over to ester oils? I know it's environmentally friendly, but once you've got it in your transformers, you don't have oil purification machines that can handle it, and you don't have testing facilities locally here that can do testing on the ester oils. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
No, that's totally incorrect. Ester oils and mineral oils, sorry, no offense. No, the ester oils and mineral oils are very, very similar. The same labs that you use to do dissolved gas analysis and tests on the mineral oil are the same labs that are used to test the ester fluid. There are differences, and when you take the oil in, you need to notify and let them know what type of oil that is and who supplied the oil. Currently, there are two major suppliers in the country. There's Midel and Cargill, and there's slight differences in the manufacture of the oil. Midel supplies largely rapeseed oil, which is a slightly superior ester oil, or natural ester, that is. Cargill supplies canola oil. It's also a good oil, but both oils have an oxidation stability issue. And then there's a synthetic ester, which has a better oxidation stability that's mostly used on free-breathing transformers. So with regards to testing, no problem at all. But when it comes to treatment, I would suggest people deal with the transformer manufacturers before a transformer is treated. We've had plenty instances where, I'll call them fly-by-nights, I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone, where people come in and treat the oil on a transformer, and a couple of months later, the transformer pops. You get premature failure. And when we get invited to investigate and assist, we find that the oil was treated and actually contaminated by the guys who came in to treat the oil. So before you treat the oil, you need to do several tests to develop a trend to see where the transformer is going. And on top of that, you can do a furanic test to tell you the life expectancy of the transformer. So if it's at the end of life, then you can take emergency measures to try and remedy the situation. But more often than not, they'll come in because they need work and they want to treat the oil. They work on your unit, contaminate it, and then you left without recourse when the transformer pops. There's a factory in Springs, not far from our factory, which almost bent down. So treating the oil, be careful. I hope I've answered you.
Okay, thank you, Lee, for that elaboration to Struan's question. I've got another question for you, Lee. I think you're quite popular today. So the next question is from Richard. Chidzonga, and his question is, on the presentation on transformer, there was a mention of changing dry type transformer due to excessive heat. Can you please elaborate more on this?
Okay, the site is located in Cape Town, and there's extremities in temperature. The farm in question is it's called CPV1. It's a solar farm where the panels do tracking. They do solar tracking. During the day, it gets extremely hot, above 30 degrees. But in the evenings, the temperatures drop to just below 1, say -1, -2. And with those extremities in change in temperature, unlike other areas where you get just a few degrees change between day and night, the transformer was subjected to severe expansion and contraction. During the day, they're fully loaded because it's a solar farm, but in the evening, they just energized and kept running. So with that, the expansion and contraction was a bit severe for those dry types, and the casting started cracking. And when that happens, your insulation is compromised, your transformer is basically becomes useless because it can pop at any time. To try and remedy that, what the site owners did, they went to Cape Town and bought all the fans that they could get. And when I got to site to have a look to try and assist, I found domestic fans under the coils. There were 3 fans in each compartment facing each phase of a transformer, trying to cool the unit. And for me, it was actually a joke. It was, sorry to say, but it was comedic. It was funny. And because of that drastic change in temperature, the customer said, can you help us? And we offered them an oil-filled transformer, which would not be subject to the same issues because the temperatures do not affect the transformer because the transformer is continuously energized. It's either it's energized and loaded or just energized and running idle. And ever since we've replaced those transformers, we haven't had problems. I hope I've answered.
Thank you, Lee. Yeah, thank you, Lee, for that. Before I move on to the next person that's got a question, if I can just ask all the panelists to pop in the chat group your name and contact details so that if anybody needs to get hold of you, they know what number to phone or what email address to use. So I'm going to ask Toka, if you could just let us know who you're directing the question to and unmute, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sai. It's Toka. My question is directed to Lee.
Okay, go ahead.
No, yes, he is famous today. Okay,
Ooh.
I have a little question considering Lesotho having its highlands on their testing facilities. How do they carry out the testing of our extreme low temperatures? How do they get to that? Because on a fully loaded transformers, I think there's much effect. And considering the new Astra oils, do they test that and are they fully satisfied with their tests? I don't know if
So
I need to clarify that.
When you say Lesotho, is a problem with the altitude? What altitude are you sitting at?
Yes, I was considering our high altitude because we have about 2,000 at some point. So is that a problem to maybe place one or two transformers at that altitude, or do we have to consider at least where it's a bit lower?
Not necessarily. When tests are conducted, there's certain calculations that can be done for correction for altitude. So that is not an issue. And the units can operate from -10 up to about 50 degrees, normal ambient temperatures. So altitude and temperature, not a factor. The units can be installed in those areas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
We've just got a comment from Letebo saying that
for someone else?
I'd like to thank That's just a comment. I'd like to thank
Right.
ACTOM on the informative initiative it has taken. We appreciate the insight offered. Please keep looping us in on upcoming events. Morapile. Thank you for that comment. I'm just checking. I don't see any further comments or hands up. Minx,
Can I
is there
say
anything
thank you and
further
then
in
switch
terms of
off
hands?
my
You're off the hook now, Lee.
Thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you from my side, and I'm going to hand over to Minx now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sai. We'd like him to be invite Ms. Mamiki Matlawa, Group Business Development Executive, to say a few closing remarks. Mamiki.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Minx. I'm not sure if I'm just wanna. Okay, thank you very much. I think from our side as ACTOM, we're quite happy that Lesotho Electrical Company reached out to ACTOM in terms of an opportunity for us to share with LEC our offerings, especially on the transmission and distribution side. We remain committed to supporting LEC in however way or format. And yeah, thank you very much. And we're looking forward to further engagements and long partnership in terms of supporting LEC.
Thank you, Mamiki. Ladies and gentlemen, this has brought us now to the end of ACTOM'S webinar today. We thank you so much for your attendance. Please watch out for notification in the WhatsApp on the release of the recording of this webinar today. And as I mentioned, it will be uploaded on the ACTOM website, as well as the SAIEE TV channel. We thank you for your attendance. All have a good day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.